if my dad were here, he would be very, very angry with me. I could close my eyes, and I could imagine him shaking his head, saying, Willie, now only he calls me Willie, and you guys can't get away with that. He'd say, Willie, couldn't you leave well enough alone? Have you ever said that to your kids? Can't you just leave well enough alone? You start fiddling with things, and next thing you know, you mess it up. Well, he would be shaking his head at me. He'd be angry because I don't know how to leave well enough alone. So I got up this morning, Ron and I met up at the gym. We didn't meet there. Don't tell Jerry we met. So we're up in the gym, but before I went to the gym, I went to the E-Connections. I poked my arm, and I squeezed out some blood so that I could get online for a couple minutes. You all get that, right? And so I try to get online there. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to see what's going on in the world. And I wanted to get something as recent and relevant as I possibly could just for you guys. Now, I didn't have to do that. I could just tell you what I tell you, and you think that's what it is. But I wanted to get something new. Something this morning, something out of the news today, so that I could bring it to here, so that you will hear something I've never told anybody else. And I did. I found something that utterly destroyed everything else I was going to tell you today. I was stunned. I mean, for lack of a better word, stunned is the word, because Oracle, do you all know Oracle? Microsoft builds, personal software, the MS Office and all that stuff. Oracle builds business software. They got huge, huge piles of money. Larry Ellison is the owner. He's the CEO of Oracle. He has a private yacht that he parks up in San Francisco. We can see it up there, that rivals the size of this boat. Not quite as big. It's about 400 feet long. We're about 600 feet long. And it's a private yacht, for crying out loud. He owns a Coliseum where the Raiders play, and where the Oakland Raiders play, the Oakland A's play there, and he owns a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm sure he doesn't tell the IRS about. The guy just has money out the wazoo. Again, wazoo. He bought Facebook. And now he owns Facebook. Now he is the king of social media. And the whole point of my talk this morning was that dreamers, we're talking about dreamers cannot be bought because they're dreamers. And he just got bought out. So I'm wondering, what am I going to talk about for the next 40 minutes? All right? I still got stuff I can tell you about Facebook and how I got started, but it destroys my whole I love dreamers thing, right? It reminds me, there's a story of a guy, very old fellow, kind of 50. No, I'm kidding. I'm not 50 either. I'm almost 60. I'll be 60 this year. Y'all can send me a birthday card. September 22nd, write that down, email me. Send me tickets to the next Azamara cruise. And so anyway, this old dude comes upon this pretty girl, and he offers her $1 million if she'll go to bed with him. And she thinks, he's old. I don't know how much damage could go here, but $1 million is a lot of money. She said, well, okay, I'll do that. And after a while, he says, okay, I got her for $1 million. He thinks, well, how about 500,000? 500,000, that's not $1 million. That's still a lot of money, for one night with an old geezer. She said, okay, I'll do it. Is that how you got on the ship here? I'm not even, and so 500,000. And so, 500,000, he thinks a little bit, and he said, well, how about 100,000? And so he just keeps whittling down the price, right? Gets her down to $100,000. Okay, that's still a lot of money. Anybody could use $100K? One night in bed with a guy who never mind, I won't go there. So, and then he took her down to $50K, and finally he got her down to $10K. Would you do it for $10K? And he looks at her, or she looks at him and says, what kind of girl do you think I am? He said, well, I know what kind of girl you are. I just want to know, what is your price? So you see, everybody has a price. Everybody has a price, and apparently the owner of Facebook has a price. But he does not, because that was a lie, I told you. Oracle did not buy Facebook. Facebook is still plenty. It's April Fool's. Hello, good morning, everybody. No, I'm not. That was good. Facebook is publicly owned, and you can still buy out all the stocks and own it. At least I got one person. No, Facebook is still, and my story, and my whole talk is still on track. Woo, I feel better now. So we're talking about like the world, like the world. Well, it's supposed to be good. I worked hard on that all morning. No. Facebook. Where I'm headed today is we're going to look at who the founder of Facebook is. We're going to talk about the function of Facebook. I'm going to show up some screenshots of Facebook. I can't go live. We know that. So I'll show you some of the things you can do on Facebook. And then I want to go into the fascination. What is so fascinating about Facebook? Now, I promised you that I would tell you things that your kids don't know. Now, I'm going to tell you what they know and what they can do. And there's about 5 or 6 things that you do on Facebook. They just do it thousands and thousands and thousands of times a day. And so we can learn how to do those things. We just don't do it as much as they do. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can know that they don't know. And that's where I'm headed. So I want to talk about the fascination. And I want to talk about the future. Where is Facebook headed? And what kind of influence is Facebook to have over us in the future? That's the general outline. So, $1 billion. $1 billion is the new million. $1 billion is the new million. So I want to put that in perspective. If you do not like numbers, if you'd rather see pictures, you're an hour late. Because Dr. Wesley shows pictures, I show numbers. It's different. Because I want to validate. I want to get beyond the theory. This is things I think, and I want to show you this is how it works. I want to show you some numbers. Mini Cooper. Anybody here have a Mini Cooper? Ever had a Mini Cooper? Yeah, there's a Mini Cooper. Anybody else have a Mini Cooper? There, my wife has a Mini Cooper. She bought a Mini Cooper, and I don't remember the exact price because I don't follow those kind of things, but it cost about $30,000, right? $30,000. If you purchased a Mini Cooper, one Mini Cooper every 17 seconds, almost 4 Mini Coopers a minute, it would take you a year before you could spend $1 billion. $1 billion, 4 Mini Coopers per minute. One Mini Cooper every second. So keep that in mind. When I say 2 billion, that's 2 per 17. If I say 28 billion, that's twice that pace. That's like 2 a second. Give me another one, 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 give me another one. There's just Mini Coopers piling up. So $1 billion is the new million. There's a lot of money going to be floating around here in a little bit. So we're going to talk about Mark. Mark went to the Phillips Exeter Academy. Exeter. You can't be smarter than me. I'm doing the talk. That's good. So he went to the Phillips. Don't know about the academy? Yeah, we know about that. There were number 14, Franklin Pierce, Doughboy, I guess they called him, right? Number 14 went to that academy, the 14th president of the United States. In addition to that, along with Mark, much later, of course, we've had 38 U.S. representatives go to that high school. We've also got 14 senators go to the high school. So he's in good company, Mark is, the boy who owns Facebook, right? 14 senators went there, as well as 14 governors. It's not a rinky-dink school by any means. It's not like Oak Hills High School where I went. Anybody know about Oak Hills High School? Yeah, that's my point, right? But we know about it. So his mother is a psychiatrist. So she's got some money, but she's not like rolling in the money. Is anybody a psychiatrist in here? You want to tell me how much money you make? It's like hundreds and hundreds of thousands, but she's got some money. And her dad's a dentist. He has the most miserable job on earth. I'm sorry to the dentist, but I have heard that it is the most depressing job because all you do is look inside people's mouths and you see decay. And you do that all day long. Doesn't that sound like fun? No, I'm sorry. I just report the facts. I'm not a dentist. So her dad's a dentist, and this is Mark. So Mark, while he was in school at the Exeter, at that academy, he won prizes. He was good. He was a good student there. He wasn't a dummy. He won prizes in math, right? He won prizes in astronomy. Okay. He won prizes in physics, right? And he mastered French. And not only did he master French, he also learned Hebrew, because he has Jewish origins. He learned Latin, and he mastered ancient Greek. You say, wow. I was like, yeah, that's a wow factor. And he says, he's a high school kid for crying out loud. When I was in high school, I was eating at Stuckey's Pizza and chasing girls out to haunted houses. I should have studied harder, right? And not only that, he took up fencing because that's what you do at those kind of schools, I reckon. Did anybody go to that school, by the way? So I can make fun of it without getting in trouble. Does anybody here go to Stanford? Because You went to Stanford? Okay, were you here yesterday? Good. Don't watch the tape, okay? Please don't watch the I live a couple miles from Stanford, and never mind. All right, so he took up fencing, and that became important to Mark because when he had his business meetings, and if his minions were not paying attention, he would pull out his sword. What? Epee. Gute. Monet. He pulled out, epee, what's that called? I call them swords. He pulled out his epee, and he would whack people with it. And that's how he kept people focused on what he was talking about. Pay attention to me, or I'm going to poke you in the, you'll have another belly button. This guy. And so he would do that in his business meetings when he was 18, 19 years old. What else would you do in a business meeting if you're 18 or 19 years old? So that was important to him. Money. Money. It's always about the money, isn't it? Except when it's not. Except when it's not. When Mark was 18 years old, the year 2000, he was making $80K as a high school student 13, 14 years ago. Just working part-time for people who needed this, that, and the other done with their websites. That's a lot of money for some people. He created this thing called Synapse. Synapse looks like Pandora. Now, do you all know who Pandora is? Pandora is an online radio kind of station. You go on there and you say, I like Disney music, and it will play princess songs all day long. And so my daughter and I listen to Pandora princess songs all the way to school in the morning, except when we watch Netflix. But we don't do that because her mother would get mad at us, so we don't do that. We just listen to Pandora. Well, Mark created that, the precursor to Pandora, and he gave it away. He gave it away. Microsoft, 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, Microsoft later said, we'll give you $2 million for that. He said, I'm just going to give it away. Well, then he got a phone call from his dad. What are you, nuts? You gave that thing away for $2 million? See, it's not about the money. So he went back, tried to get it back. Well, you're crazy. It's online now. Anybody can use it. But he created the precursor to Pandora. So it's never about the money. When he was 20, he was offered $10 million. $10 million for the idea of Facebook. Now, he says over at Harvard, and I'm going to show you how he got started with the Facebook thing. It was just getting off the ground. It was just a Harvard thing and they want to give him $10 million. And then he was offered $75 million. $75 million. Would you take $75 million? Yeah, now I know, maybe. Now I know what kind of person you are. No. No, you see where I'm going. And he turned him down. He said, I don't want $75 million. And then twice he would turn down $1 billion. $1 billion when he was 20. He turned down, 4 times 365 Mini Coopers. So Viacom offered him that much money, and then Yahoo offered him that much money. He said, it's not about the money. So if it's not about the money, what is it about? What goes on in the hearts and minds of these kids who think they can change the world? See, that's where I'm headed here. We got dreamers. There's a place on earth where dreams come true. It's in Silicon Valley. Stanford has a big part in that. See, I said something nice. There's a place where dreams come true. But then you have to have the dreamer who cannot endure, who cannot tolerate compromise. It's not about the money. So it's not about the money. The question is, what is it about, right? What is it about? So Mark is in Harvard. He creates this thing called Course Match. Course Match. Does anybody go to Harvard? Oh, we can make fun of them all day then, can't we? Yeah, we can do that. Oh, you went to Harvard. Well, that's okay. You'll forget by the time I'm done telling jokes anyway. Harvard. I'll forget what I was telling anyway. So Harvard, what they had a bunch of, the boys were looking at the pretty girls, right? And so the boys wanted to know which classes the pretty girls were taking. And they wanted to take the same classes. He'd already mastered astronomy, physics, and whatever. Now he wants to take the course that all the girls take. And so he hacks into the system to find out to find out which classes, which girls are taking so that he can take the same classes. It's all about guys and girls match under the guise of course match. That's all he wanted to do. And then he creates this thing called face mash. So apparently he gets into a class with a girl and she stiffs him. Say, ouch. So he creates face mash, and on face mash they begin to compare girls to farm animals. And so what do you think this girl looks like? What do you think that girl looks like? And next thing you know, everybody and their brother gets online and they start bashing girls that they had stiffed them. Doesn't that sound like a fine, fine start for a big dreamer who doesn't care about money, who's going to create a multi-billion dollar? But that's where it all began. So it's all about communication. Which girl do you think's the ugliest? Which one do you think looks like the backside of a dog or something like that? It was a hack. He hacked the system. And that's why they wanted to throw him out of Harvard, because of this. Well, there he is. This is him. This is Mark Zuckerberg is his name. If you want to know more about the history, you can watch the movie, The Social Network. It says you don't get to 500 million friends without making a few enemies. Of course, you're going to make enemies if you talk to 500 million people. But Mark Zuckerberg is the person who founded that. While he did it, he runs into trouble with the Winklevoss twins. I mean, these guys, one arm is bigger than Zuckerberg is all by himself. These guys are Olympian rowers. And they had commissioned Zuckerberg to create something like Course Match or something on the lines of Facebook, blah, 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 and all the lawyers got involved, and then the lawyers won. They got $600 million. Zuckerberg made a whole lot more money than that. Now they're back trying to get more money out of him. But you got enemies. More money. More money. Maybe Microsoft. Microsoft offered him $15 billion. That's every second, right? $15 billion, one Mini Cooper per second for an entire year if you'll just give me Facebook. And it wasn't even done yet. It had never made any money. There's no money here. Just let us give you $15 billion. You go on and live your life. He didn't want it. Who cares about $28 billion? At one point, the company was valued at $28 billion, all the shares he had. If Microsoft gave him $15 billion, that would make the value of the shares for his person was $28 billion. So I'm sitting in an interview, and there's Mark Zuckerberg, and the woman leans over and says, you're now worth $28 billion. Zuckerberg says, who cares about $28 billion? And people say that all the time. Who cares about that much money? And what they're really saying, I care about that money, but I can't admit that here. But when Zuckerberg, who cares about $28 billion? You knew that he didn't care about $28 billion. He says, what, a billionaire, a millionaire? I'm not even a thousandaire. I don't care. He says, I don't care. All Zuckerberg really wanted, and he says all he really wanted, was to be able to walk to work each day. He wanted his apartment to be close enough that he didn't have to take a car to get to work. That was where his heart was. So what he answers is, what is important to me is, how can I innovate? How can we innovate? How can I make this better? What keeps me up at night? This is what exists in the heart of a dreamer. How can I make the world a better place? How can I improve on something that's already making the world a better place? What keeps my mind turning at night? What's going through and through and through, and I can't get past that? That's what's in the heart of a dreamer. When you're that kind of person, then you're able to make a big difference in the world. It's not about the price. This is my baby. I want to keep growing it. Now, I'm afraid to ask this question, but I will anyway. How many of you would sell one of your kids? Okay, don't raise your hand. Put the camera over there. It's being recorded. We get it, don't we? There's a point where we will sell our kids, but not early on. They're still cute and precious and all that sort of thing, right? It's my baby. He calls it his baby. He says, I want to keep growing it. I hope I don't get killed. So they mentioned during this interview that there's a life, there's a, what they call a threaten. There's a life threat. There's a hit out for you, and from people in Pakistan want to kill you. Eyes got big. You see, the $28 billion didn't faze him. Wow, I hope I don't get killed. So he's a kid. He just wants to live his life. He just wants to make the world a better place. He just wants to keep innovating. He wants to stay awake at night thinking, wow, I could do this and that and that, and that would make things better. And I hope people learn to love this more. That's what's in his heart. Isn't that interesting? So, this is him. This is Mark Zuckerberg. That's his wife, Priscilla. He's now worth $20.3 billion. Well, that was when Facebook prices were like $40 a share. Now it's 70-some bucks a share. And he's worth, twice that, almost twice that. He has speed dial. On his speed dial, he has Obama. The whole NSA fiasco. Well, he picks up his cell phone, pushes the button, calls Obama up and says, this is what I think about it. Obama picks the phone up. Well, okay. This is where Facebook started. This little house here. There's a house. They rented this house. It's about a 5,000 square foot house. They rented the whole house. And on top of the house, there's a chimney. And from the chimney, there's a zip line that goes all the way to the telegraph pole. And what they would do is when they got tired of coding, they'd climb up on the roof, take the zip line, and try and hit the swimming pool. Right? Yeah, we're 21, 22-year-old kids, lots of booze. You can't code forever. You can't sit there and look at zeros and zeros and ones and zeros and ones and zeros forever. And so they took over the house. They completely trashed the place. And then when they got done, they just threw a bunch of money back at it to rebuild it for her. So I don't know, but if Zuckerberg knocks on your door and says, I'm going to trash your place and go make $1 billion, would you let him in? You would now, but would you let him in before? No, we're not going to go there. So after they finish inside the building, they move on top of this. This is going this way is University Avenue, downtown Palo Alto, and then Emerson or something like that. You take a left depending on which direction you're going. There's a China Delight on the second floor is where they set up shop. That's where their first office was, outside of that house. And then, of course, we created Facebook. So here's where I was telling you. This is where people show up. And if you see green dots, then you know they're online. You click on that green dot, it'll pop up on their screen. You could chat with them privately. And if they're not online, if it's just a gray dot, you can't see gray dots, you can just click on the gray dot, write something, drop it in, and when they show up, it'll pop up as you got a message from somebody. If they have it on their cell phone, you'll get the same message. So what you do on a Facebook is you write things, a timeline, you put things in reverse chronological order, where the newest is up on top and the oldest is at the bottom. Usually it's the other way around, right? So we just create things on reverse chronological order by creating a post. We can click post and write it, or we can just write it in the box. We can just put an update in the box. We can tell something about me. We have photos that we can show, and that's just about it. Friends. We can create lots of friends. If you have 200 friends, and I have 400 friends, I'm better than you, right? No, but that's what we think. If you have 500 friends, well, I'm going to get 600. So when Facebook first started off, everybody just wanted more friends. And so I got to the point, because I'm stupid too sometimes, I got to a point where I had 1,000 friends. 1,003, and I knew them all intimately. And they all wanted to be involved in my life, and I wanted to see what was going on in their life. And so the more friends you have, and this is what's really interesting, the more friends you have, let me see if it's the next slide. The more friends you have, the more updates you get. So every time your friend that you know and love deeply does something, they'll throw it up on there. And it just keeps showing up in reverse chronological order. So the point being, if you friend people you don't know, you're going to learn about things that people do that you don't care. You see, so I had 1,000 friends, and before I came to the ship, just for meanness, I got on there and started unfriending people I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know you either. I don't know you either. I'm down to 412. So I had 578 people, or 588 people I didn't know from Adam, who wanted to be my friend and were telling me stuff I don't care. So when you get on friends, more is not better in this case. More is just more. More is crowded. More is junk. It's about communicating with people you really want to communicate with. Fascination. What's so cool about Facebook? What level has Facebook reached? Here's Zuckerberg when they asked him, what's the big deal? Don't you worry about people getting drunk and naked and putting pictures on Facebook, right? And identity and future bosses and HR people and all. why are you so stupid when you're on Facebook? And don't you worry about young kids being so stupid. And his response to that is, Facebook is based on real identity. That being said, you cannot lie. You are fully transparent. And so I expect in time, people will behave better. Because if everything they put on Facebook, everybody sees, well, they're going to stop putting it up there. So how many of us have done something when we were in our 20s, and we were quite eager to tell people about that victory, about that whatever. We were quite proud of that stupid action, right? Well, it's the same thing. So he says, because everybody knows, everybody sees what you're doing, you're not apt to be so stupid and so obvious every time. You can say, I hooked up with that girl at that party last night. Well, I was at that party last night. No, you didn't. You see, you can't lie when everybody can see what it is that you're doing. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Huh. Never thought about that. The point is we just got to grow up faster sometimes. And you can't grow up faster. You just got to experience life. It changes your behavior. When everybody can see what you do, it changes your behavior, doesn't it? Or does it? If everybody was watching you at every moment, would you do things differently? Yes, we would. Of course we would. Of course we would. So, we can communicate as easily as possible with the world. We can communicate as easily as possible with the world. We have university students who knew when Facebook arrived. They knew when Facebook was coming to their campus. I love Japan. My kids are made in Japan. This says made in Japan back here. We just don't show it to a lot of people. But their mother's Japanese. They're born and raised in Japan. I love Japan. I lived there for almost 20 years. But the kids of the kids of my son's generation don't know, as a majority, 80% or so, don't know that America and Japan went to war. It just doesn't show up in the textbooks. They don't know that. And what? But they know when Facebook is coming. You see, it's a different era. But that gives us an inkling to the fascination that Facebook has created throughout the world, right? So 30 countries with 30%. 30 countries with 30%. We got anybody from Canada? All right, there's like 6 of you. 3 of you are on Facebook, aren't you? So if you're sitting at a table with 10 Canadians, 5 of them aren't listening to you. They're on their Facebook doing something. I love you, Canada. This is cold. No, I'm kidding. Norway. Anybody from Norway? Yeah. You on Facebook? How about your wife? You don't have a wife? How about your girlfriend? How about your girlfriends? Okay, never mind. Half of everybody in Norway, and we're talking about the entire citizenship. We're talking about little people to old people. Half of everybody in Norway is online. On Facebook. That's a lot of people. Hong Kong. Anybody from Hong Kong? My wife spent time in Hong Kong, so we got almost half of people in Hong Kong. All the people in Hong Kong. That means all the little people are not, and all the old people don't care, so everybody in the middle is on Facebook. Oh, look at that. The UK, we got any Brits here? Yeah, what are you guys doing? You on Facebook? Yep. At least somebody will admit it. Chile, the Chileans are on Facebook. So this is the entire population, right? The entire population. Israel. And then the Bahamas, right? It's warm down there. Canada is too cold. We got to get on Facebook. Bahamas is too hot. We better get on Facebook. And then who else we got? Iceland, 58%. Holy, anybody from Iceland? Okay, never mind. 75 language. Facebook's in 75 languages, covers 98% of the world. 98% of the world has access to Facebook in their language. Numbers. If you don't like numbers, close your eyes. All right? If you don't like numbers, close your eyes. 350 million people suffer from Facebook addiction syndrome. That's right. We got any psychiatrists here? Yeah, you got a large audience there you can go to work on, right? The Facebook addiction syndrome. We got 450. The average number of content shared by each user. So at least once a day, everybody on Facebook shares something. So we got 1.2 billion, 1.2.5 billion, 1.2 billion times 400. That's 415 billion or 600 billion. The numbers are getting too big here. Shared, all year round. 50% or 58% of people on Facebook go back there daily. So if you're on Facebook, more than half of you go there daily. I go there several times a day, not because I'm a kid or because I want to go there. It's just because for whatever reason, some of my clients choose to use that chat function to communicate with me. Why? I don't know. So I have a presence on Facebook. I don't particularly like it because it's not me. I don't want to tell people what I'm doing all the time, but I have people who choose that as their communication way. So I have the presence, I have fans, and I have a company website and all that stuff. But people go back there daily, so I just kind of keep it in a bookmark so I can open it up to see if anything pops up, right? See if anything pops up. And then 50% of the smartphones connect to Facebook every hour of every day. Remember, there are more smartphones in the world than there are people, and half of those connect every hour of every day. You know, it's like golf. Do we got any golfers in here? I don't know. Fishermen. You got fishermen in here? Oh, what's with fishing? Yeah. But there's a whole lot of people do it, so there must be something to it. Yeah, I can't imagine sitting on the side waiting for nothing to happen. But people do that. They even sit in boats and wait for nothing to happen. They put clothes on, freeze, and wait for nothing to happen. And they go home and tell lies about it. So there is something fascinating about fishing and hitting balls into water. That people do it all over the world. Well, there's something on Facebook going on that keeps people amused as well. There's something going on there. You ever seen that? Yeah, we were having dinner with Ron and Jerry, and Sam and I were on our cell phones, and they were trying to talk to us. We're listening. But 7,000 different devices, 7,000 different types of devices every day. 500 million people are liked each day. Huh, that's not even that many people. I like you. 140 billion friend connections? 140, what are there, 7 billion people? There's 140 billion are connected? Something going on there. Whether we like it or not, there's something going on there. There's a fascination factor that's intangible to maybe us, but it's definitely appealing to our kids, right? Definitely appealing to our kids. 250 million photos added daily. 250 million. Somebody take up it goes, up it goes. 1 out of every 7 minutes spent online is spent on Facebook. In the entire world, 1/7 of the time online is spent on Facebook. Between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern time, America, between 4 and 10, something like a 6-hour stretch, it goes up to like 30% of everybody online is on Netflix. Netflix consumes 30% of the bandwidth of the entire world. You guys, anybody on Netflix? Yeah, we like Netflix. Whoop, there's a number there. Each day, Facebook users spend 10.5 billion minutes. 20,000 years every day. 20,000 years in cumulative time is spent on Facebook every day. Holy moly. Right? Holy moly. Facebook users watch more than 500 years worth of YouTube every day. Watching 500 years worth of YouTube. Don't you wish Michelangelo and Christopher Columbus and those guys had YouTube? We could just watch that. Yeah, they would do that. And here we go. There are more Facebook profiles created every day than there are people born every day. Every second, every day, same difference. So 4.5 people born every second. That means there's a kid halfway in and halfway out. Come on, baby. See, we guys think that's funny. The women don't think that's funny. Would you get out? That's right. And so, but 4.5 people born every second, 5 new profiles every second. So Facebook's growing faster than the population of the world. There's something about that place. Now they got divorce. This is going on because of people chatting in Bangalore. Hey, sweetie. Oh, busted. And now, so Facebook, WhatsApp, the Facebook bought WhatsApp, and now the marriages are breaking down because of Facebook. And facial recognition. Facebook has a facial recognition software that they just bought, right? Facebook's facial recognition is something like 97.2% accurate. So if they see your face, whether you've been tagged or on Facebook or not, they can recognize 97.2% of the people in the world. Humans have a 97.5% accuracy. I just can't quite remember your name, right? That kind of thing. Well, Facebook doesn't forget. They have the facial recognition capability. And I think I skipped that. Okay, in the future, They just bought, I don't think I have a slide for it, they just bought a virtual reality software, Oculus. They paid $2 billion. $2 billion. They talked for 1 week. Mark Zuckerberg and the owner of Oculus talked for 1 week, and they closed the deal with a $2 billion deal to buy this virtual reality software. You wear these glasses. It's kind of like a funky looking, remember the 3D glasses that we used to have? Well, it's more than that. It's a 3D glasses, but it's inside a black box. You sit there like this, and you can be wherever anybody else in the world is at the same time, virtually. And you can share that experience virtually. Wow, you see, there's something going on here whether we like it or not. Orwellian, right? Orwellian. So Zuckerberg wants to have everybody online. And everybody who's online, you have to have a real identity to get online. That being said, I remember yesterday, or a couple of days, 10%, about 120 million are fake identities. But they work on that. So at some point, they want everybody online so that everybody in the world can connect with anybody in the world. And you want the global village. The global village. And here's an interesting word, retrosexual. Retrosexual. The most popular activity on Facebook these days, besides gaming and all that stuff, is to look up old flames. I'm serious. You better watch what she gets on Facebook and they ask her, what you doing there, honey? You counting the days? Are you counting the days on me? I'm gonna suck my gut in. Can I breathe now? That's right. All right, so, but people hook up with old flames. They go back to the high school and you don't look like what I remember. Well, you should see yourself. Exactly. So I had a buddy when I was in the Navy, and he and I were friends. I liked Ron, and I tried for the life of me to find him after I left the Navy, like 100 years ago. All I knew is he was in Boston area. So every time I went to the Boston area, I'd get out a phone book and I'd call every single Ron Marshall in the entire Boston area, like 83 of them. Not him. And then one morning I hit him. I wonder if he's on Facebook. And there he was. He's in Palm Desert, about 200 miles from me. Next time I go to Southern California, I'll be able to go out to Palm Desert, and he and I'll sit down and we'll catch up. Now, see, that's cool. Facebook's cool when you can do that sort of thing. You can connect with old people. And it's cool to connect with old flames if you've got permission from your significant other, right? They want to create a Facebook driver's card, like an ID card. So that everybody's on Facebook, you start showing your Facebook card. You have a magnetic strip on the back, right? You have a magnetic strip so that you can do all your shopping and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. You can see you can see a big picture going on here. See a big picture going on. Sheryl Sandberg used to be the chief of staff for the Secretary of the Treasury. She now is the chief operating officer for Facebook. So Facebook's beginning to suck into the higher ups, right? This is his connection to Obama, I bet. This is Naomi. She's just a little girl. She has a one-line job description. Serious, a one-line job description. Make friends with everybody in the world. She was hired to do that. Make friends with everybody in the world. There's nothing else on her job description. And now she's about 1/5 of the way there, right? Stephen Chen. Stephen Chen was the 7th or 8th person to be hired by Facebook. I'm number 8. I'm number 7. It's the 8th or 9th or 3rd or 23rd person to get hired by whatever company, because you get shares. The higher up, the smaller the number, the more shares you get. So the smaller the number, the richer you are, the cooler you are, the duder you are, that kind of thing. Well, Stephen Chen was like 7th or 8th on the list of being hired by Facebook, worked for them for 2 weeks and quit. Yeah, you thought, what an idiot. Yeah, what's wrong with you? Well, you don't know that when you quit. You're just dumb and quit. And so he quit. He 2 weeks at Facebook, I ain't doing this no more. He got his buddy out, and they went out and created their own company. They made YouTube. And within a year, they sold it for $1.65 billion. So he could have stayed at Facebook, and he'd be worth several hundred million. Instead, he created YouTube, and within a year's time, he made $1.65 billion. But he split it with his friends, so he has $800 million. Only has $800 million. Everybody says, aw, poor guy, right? This is Chris Hughes. This is the guy who got Obama elected. You can either cheer or you can boo. Oh, let's hear for Obama. Okay, but I don't know. So he got hired by the Obama administration to create a group of followers on Facebook. He got some 21 million 18 to 21-year-olds to follow Obama on Facebook. What was the tipping demographic for the election? The 18 to 21-year-olds influenced by Obama's page. This is the kid, he was 24, 25 years old at the time, who take full responsibility for getting Obama elected. Now they might have done it another way. I get all that. So Facebook has spawned its own industry. Zynga is worth $2.5 billion. They're a game that people play on Facebook. So you go to Facebook not to talk to your friends. You go on Facebook to play games with other people on Facebook, like Farmville or whatever. I've never played a game on Facebook. The last game I played online was Pac-Man. I haven't played anything since then because I just don't get it. It just doesn't work in my world or something like that. You can friend, you can send a message to, you can find anything in the entire world on Facebook, on the entire world. You can change the world. This is my little character. I can change the world. And I have a video. Whoops. About 5 minutes long.
My name is Susan Boyle.
Okay,
Anybody
Susan,
seen this?
and where are you from?
I am from Blackburn,
pretend
near
like you
Bathgate,
haven't.
West Lothian.
It's a big town.
It's a sort of collection of, it's a collection of villages. Had to think there.
And how old are you, Susan?
I am 47.
This is Britain's Got Talent.
And that's just one side of
American Idol version in Britain.
Okay, what's the dream?
The dream.
I'm trying to be a professional singer.
And why hasn't it worked out so far, Susan?
I've never been given the chance before, but here's hoping it'll change.
Okay, and who would you like to be as successful as?
Elaine Page.
Elaine
something like
Page.
that.
What are you going to sing tonight?
I'm going to sing I Dreamed a Dream from the Miserables.
Okay.
Big song.
Yeah? Yes.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
You just didn't expect that, did you?
Did you? You didn't expect that, did you?
I dreamed that love would never die. I dreamed that God would be forgiving. I was young and unafraid. When dreams are made and used and wasted.
But we don't know where those dreams are packaged, or do we? We just plain don't know where those dreams are packaged and what they look like. Now, how many of you expected that? I remember when I saw that. I didn't expect that. Some 125 million people have seen that video now. I won't tell you how she placed in Britain's Got Talent, but she went all the way to the finals and whatnot. Just remarkable. And of course, the message is there as well. Not only she's dreaming a dream, she's living a dream, she's pursuing a dream. Most people can't see their dreams realized because they give up. They stop, or they don't dream them in the first place, or they get bought out, or I don't know. This is a quote. Get a good idea, right? Get a good idea, stay with it, dog it, and work it until it's done right. Work it. Get a dream. Dog it. Dog it. Dog it. I love that word. Dog it. That's like that dog pushing the rock, pushing the rock. Dog pushing the rock, pushing the rock. Dog it. Work it until it's done right. The guy who said this is one of my heroes. He tried to do it with a rabbit, and then he had a little girl that he put into the comic strips that he worked with, and neither done one of those work because he ran into problems with business relationships and all that kind of stuff. And then he was on a train, defeated, coming back from New York to the Hollywood area, and he was trying to come up with another idea. And he comes up with the idea of a critter that, I'll bet I could get the whole world to fall in love with this critter. He wakes his wife up, honey, I got a tremendous idea. I am sure that if I dog this idea, the whole world will fall in love with my new character. Well, honey, what? She goes, wait, what is it? It's a mouse. A mouse. Walt Disney came up with an idea to get the entire world to fall in love with a mouse. As I mentioned several times, I lived in Japan for almost 20 years. I had a friend who was a girl, not a girlfriend, but a friend who was a girl. She was from China, and took her to 31 Baskin-Robbins 31 flavors ice cream, right? And they were giving away little keychains, and there was Snoopy and Charlie Brown, and Lucy and Linus, and she got a little Charlie Brown character, and she said, "Bill, who's this?" She didn't know who Charlie Brown was. She didn't know who Snoopy was, but she knew who Mickey Mouse was. This is a new revolution for our friends in the Middle Kingdom. You see, he took a mouse, for crying out loud. So my question is, what is your dream? What is your idea? What are you dogging? Well, see, in the next talk, I'm going to talk about why people give up on their dreams. So we're going to have a vote here. This is a democracy, kind of, unless I don't like what you all devoted. So I got a choice between Twitter and LinkedIn. So remember, I told you I have 6 talks, but I only have 5 time slots. So next, I want to talk about obstacles that get in people's way so that they don't realize their dreams. We're going to do it Twitter style. I'm going to do it LinkedIn style. And then the following after that, I'm going to do Google. I'm going to stay with Google because I got pictures of driverless cars and another virtual reality. And then I'm the last one, king of social media. I'm not giving up that one because that's my favorite. So here we go. How many of you want Twitter? 2 of you. Okay. How about LinkedIn? All right. It's a tie. What's the rest of you? Don't care? How many of you don't care? How many don't know? Okay. All right. I'll make up my mind while I'm eating dinner tonight or something. I don't know. All right. Like the world, have a dream, pursue that dream, and that dream will come forth. Thank you all very much for being here.